Hello, and welcome to the beginning of a journey I sincerely hope you'll keep nestled in your heart for those days and nights when you need it most. This is Sunflower Sutras, and if you're a fan of Ginsberg, you might be able to tell that this is most likely a poetry show. And you'd be right. I'm your host, Tara, local poet and talent mooch, but please just call me that dude you heard on the radio. To christen our maiden voyage, I would now be honored to share with you a poem that recently turned just over 100 years old. Anthem for Doomed Youth by one of my personal favorites, World War I hero Wilfred Owen. What passing bells for these who die as cattle, only the monstrous anger of the guns, only the stuttering rifles' rapid rattle can patter out their hasty orisons. No mockery now for them, no prayers, no bells, nor any voice of mourning save the choirs, the shrill, demented choirs of wailing shells, and bugles calling for them from their sad shires. What candles may be held to speed them all, not in the hands of boys, but in their eyes, shall shine the holy glimmers of goodbyes. The pallor of girls' brows shall be in their pall, their flowers the tenderness of patient minds, and each slow dusk a drawing down of blinds. Now for a bit of local poetry news on June 1st, brought to us by the Topeka Shawnee County Public Library, hosted by local wordsmith extraordinaires Kay Duganator and Matt Spezia. There will be a story slam as a part of the first Friday Art Walk, located at the Noto Art Place. The slam will begin at 7, promptly at 7, but you know poet time. Topeka's own Speakeasy Poets will be hosting their monthly open mic on June 6th at the Noto Burrito. Sign up is at 6:30 and readings begin at 7 as they always do. Please come and join us. The following day, June 7th, will be a joyous occasion as it marks what would have been our beloved Gwendolyn Brooks's 101st birthday. Can you believe it? A word to the wise, there is a Gwendolyn Brooks Park here in Topeka, located on Southwest Topeka Boulevard, just before the intersection of 37th Street. I welcome any and all listeners to leave a little memento for her spirit, maybe start a long overdue Topeka tradition. I know I am definitely going to go there with a flower or two. And a little bit further down the road, on June 16th, at the Raven Bookstore in Lawrence, Kansas, the book launch party for Mercedes Lucero's Stereometry poetry book will happen, with special guest readings by Danny Kane, Jamila Jones, and Dave Snyder. Be looking forward to that one. If you are interested, Matt Spezia will have an album release on June 25th for his slam, poetry, and hip-hop inspired beats. The album will be called Babylon. June 25th, look out for it. Also in local poetry news, Kansas City-based poet Jen Harris's book Slammed is now available for free on Amazon Kindle. Also, keep a lookout for her new zine Butch, a collection of queer poetry. And lastly, some very exciting news for any listeners itching to submit some work, because I know that's what all you dying artists are trying to do. Our own poet laureate Kevin Rabas is curating a collection of poems by Kansans for a project to aid Bards Against Hunger, a national philanthropic organization whose proceeds go directly to local food banks. Part of the sales for this upcoming anthology piece will be donated to our own local harvesters organization. If you are interested in submitting to this project, please send at least 4 to 8 poems in a single Word document to bardsagainsthunger.kansas@gmail.com. Submissions must be sent by at least May 31st. Short notice, but I know that you lovelies have it in ya. The poems don't need to be explicitly hunger-themed, and they don't have to have anything to do with Kansas. It's just highly recommended. Speak the truth. I'm sure it'll be appreciated. I know I'm going to submit. Please join me in doing so. And now for a real treat in what will surely be my favorite part of the show. It's time to read submissions from listeners like you. A true Wonder Woman, a blunt talent that will inspire you to keep going, a local artist that everyone either already knows or damn well should, a goddamn courageous friend who makes this world such a better place. Cal Louise Phoenix has volunteered her words to the show. Soulmate. Bones are deceitful lights, tilting to draw from all of the wrong corners. His tongue and eyes, too, speckled eggs resting in rippling flesh. I like to watch them as he plunges, as if he means to break me with my own heart. There are streaks of honey where the dress pressed, where his mouth cut the expensive cloth my mother helped to pick it out. She paid for it. To develop dust in a box, beneath the smell of rain. I know him in my bones, as well as I know my bones exist at all, as well as I know the depth of blood's color. Setting boundaries. 1 month and we knew. That's why I hold you here 5 years later, at room's length, even when our bodies cup, our brains too much remains unchanged. Kissing was too intimate, you said. I concealed my regrettable shapes of my breasts, yet poured the rest into your drinking glass, balanced on the desk between dusk and twilight. You never reciprocated, although I have seen you naked. As you ate up my best, I spat glass. I inhaled frost. In some loving, you made me feel as small as a lentil. That's why I hold you here, presently, at sofa's length, at bed's length, at breath's length, consumed without regard. Is that how it feels? Do I turn your thoughts to marrow, your bones to batter? When the teasing begins to ache, the blame is deflected, calling focus to the boozy insights, the former purple river of my hair, the parking lot expanse of my heart. How these prompted your selection. I think you idealized. You forgot I've since repented, this many times scorned woman. Behold the product of imposed ego, the destruction internalized. The now me, a spidery figure in veins, ravaged, I've sewn up my raped parts with quilting thread and became a frigid old cat. Fend me off, then, when the old hurt bubbles like saintly George in polished armor, charging the dragon like garlic to a succubus. Crush the younger version's head against the rocks. Bury the spirits in the reek of herbs. Only when you make soup should you recall the past, because too much remains unchanged. This me, who you consider your siren, is not unique. A bit of fresh, encapsulating a speck of intellect. While its design will carry musk and conversation, there's no room in these pockets for the hard stuff, the stuff below the pangs. Pluck as you may, but my heartstrings go on for miles, circling decades, pinned to some places, and yes, maybe one spot bears a page, your brand scrawled there. That's why I hold you here today, at sized length. Even though your hands are too small to hold the deeper parts, even if you have the most beautiful feet of any man I've seen, I would know. I still remember 5 years ago watching you walk away. And lastly, relics for Bevel. An ache is a petrol boost, not unlike the weight of these cannons resting where our bones have molded into ship sides. This boy and I have insides on which we sailed, a swamp of antique leaves and an alien's blue. We drank each other from curly straws, swung matching mugs, and slurred from balcony points. It's the place where we met and now visit through a weak soup of a year and 7 months too late. We were meant to go ashore on a postcard. It was done once I comforted his belly with a drunk beetle, once he made me a believer returning the favor underwater. I discovered something holy then. In the 3rd hour of the 5th morning, in the arch of my spine, and the writing in the sand, it's the place where I've piled an altar and now visit with tucked skirts 1 year and 5 months too late. Like a moth in horizon paints, he was swallowed by landscape. My anchor was his request, the counter tilt of the will transplanted to a beach of dust and melted drywall. Whisper sung in the earthworm's breath to clasp at my hymn. Come, aim, boy. Light the fuse, boy. Hallelujah. Wow. Thank you so much, Cal. That was amazing, as always. What more should I have expected? And thank you, listeners, for seeking out and sticking with Washburn Radio and our little program. If you want to hear your words on the show or just want to hear me yak nice words about your name for submitting, please send any pieces that you would like to tara.bartley @yahoo.com. That is BARTLEY @yahoo.com. Any genre, any format, I want it all. Give me your weirdest stuff. Give me your blandest stuff. Give me micropoems. Give me macro poems. Give me classical. Give me slam. I mean it when I say I want it all. Slán go fóill and farewell. See you next time.